Welcome back. We're going to be doing another pickleball exercise in this video, this time working on improving your squat. So in pickleball, a big part of the game is dinking. And when you dink, it's important that you're able to quickly change levels as well as stay balanced to return the ball over the net. So we're going to start with the fundamental movement of the squat. So when you squat, the first thing you want to do is have your feet shoulder width apart. The movement starts by pushing the hips back and then the knees start to bend here. See, my hips start to move and then my knees bend and I can drop into a nice comfortable squat. People make the mistake because they hear, oh, don't bend your back when you squat, so they try to keep their back very erect and upright. But when you do that, you can see how it forces your knees to go very far forward and puts a little more stress on the knees. So it's okay to bend the back as long as we're keeping this lumbar spine flat. So as you can see here, I bend at the hips and then I squat. Versus this would be rounding at the back. We don't want to round too much. So going back to our 4 phases, for phase 1, you can start by trying to master this hip hinging motion. The hip hinge is the first part of a good squat. So what you can do is do it without weight or with weight. I'm going to be using a kettlebell. The weight is going to be held close to your body and it's going to drop down, straight down as I push my butt back. And you're going to do a half bend. Hold for a second and then come back up. If you hold the weight out in front of you, it puts a lot more strain on your back. So be sure to hold the weight close to you, or if you're just getting started, you can perform this movement without any weight and just hold your hands here, drop the hands straight down, and then come back up. So once you've mastered the hip hinging motion and you want to achieve more depth on your squat, one good training method is using an elevated surface. So here we have a wall, but if you're in your home, you could use a chair, a bed, even a couch. But you want to start by standing about 6 inches away from the surface, and we're going to use that same hip hinge and then drop our butt till it taps the surface. Then you're going to rise back up. So this is a great way to start, help you build strength in those squat muscles, but also safe if you're just getting started, because you don't have to worry about losing your balance or falling. You're just going to tap and then rise back up. As you start to get stronger, you'll graduate to lower surfaces until you can achieve the full depth and perform a freestanding squat. So when you're picking an elevated surface to start your squats from, just remember that the higher the surface, the easier it is, and then the lower the surface, the more challenge you're going to have when dropping down into that squat. And again, the whole purpose of our 4-phase strength and conditioning program is that no matter what level you're starting at, we can find exercises that are appropriate for you. Once you've mastered the hip hinge, it's time to move on to phase 2. So again, in phase 2, we're going to be adding resistance, trying to build strength and power in the squat movement. And one exercise I want to share with you is the kettlebell swing. So I've got my kettlebell here. We're going to start in that same squat motion, and as I drive my hips and legs up, the kettlebell swings up, and then I control the weight of the kettlebell as I come back down. And if you're new to this exercise, I recommend starting without any weight and just practicing the timing and the rhythm of the exercise, like this. And then once you feel comfortable, you can add some weight. When you do all these exercises, we shouldn't have any pain. You are going to feel those muscles start to burn, and that's a good sign. It means the muscles are working, you're challenging your body, and you're getting stronger. So now we're ready to move on to phase 3. In phase 3, again, we're tying the upper body and lower body together. So sometimes when you're playing pickleball, not all the dinks are going to be straight in front of you. nice perfect squats. Sometimes we're gonna have to squat and shift our weight with a little bit of trunk rotation here. Shift, turn. This exercise will help you stay in control and stay balanced as you go through this movement. So that squat, dink, squat, dink. So here I've got myself a medicine ball. You could also use a dumbbell or even start with no weight just to master the coordination of the upper and lower body. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold the ball, start in the center. I'm gonna squat, tap the ball right outside my foot, tap. Now when you do this, it's important to remember to use that correct squatting mechanics that we just worked on in phase 1 and 2. I think a lot of people make the mistake and they start to round their back as they go to touchdown. Still using that proper squat technique. We're hinging at the hips, dropping down, touching. Dropping down, touching. So my back is not rounding and doing this. That's what people say, bend with the legs, bend with the knees, right? That's what they're talking about. They're talking about using your hips and knees and lowering into the squat, not bending from the back. So when you're playing pickleball and you're going for a dink that's a little bit off to the side, instead of just rounding your back and going like this, what you want to do is use your hips, use your legs, squat, come to the side here, hit that dink, or same way this way. So for our final phase 4 exercise, we're incorporating that reaction time into the squat. So this will help with your hand-eye coordination and your reaction on the pickleball court. So what you're gonna do is get a partner and they're gonna hold 2 pickleballs at your shoulder height. And they're gonna randomly drop one ball and I have to react and catch the ball. You're gonna have to change levels to catch it, moving into that squat position. So I want you to go try these exercises on your own and then go out and play. Get out there playing pickleball, get moving, be active. And if you want to learn more pickleball exercises to help with your sidestepping, then be sure to watch the next video linked here.